Hello guys, what's up? My name is Layla Jones. Today we are going to explain a good movie for our entertainment. Let's begin it. Conference in Berlin in 1987. It was decided in the conference they don't even have money to maintain their army. They send their man named Leon to Congo City. Bring some diamonds and the elephant teeth. Leon is shown reached Congo City with his army. As he reaches here, a tribe attacks his army. None from Leon's army was left. Only Leon was left and they were about to end Leon. But Leon ends a man of their tribe and the leader of the tribe arrives. The leader also knows that Leon come here to take some diamonds and elephant teeth. There was a deal among them. The leader wants something and says, if you will bring that thing I will give you everything of Congo. The thing was Tarzan and the tribe leader's demands for Tarzan. The scene shifts and a conference room is shown. Tarzan is shown he lives with a royal family, not in the forests. Tarzan was named John. The Prime Minister says to John, there is an invitation for you and it came straight from Africa. The Africans want to call you there and you will do research there. We will get the data from that place. John refuses to go to Africa and refused this invitation. Before John leaves, Mr. George arrives. Mr. George also spends time in the forests. Mr. George says if you will go there you can meet the people of Congo as well. What problem do you have to go there? You have spent a lot of time in Congo, but John says to George there is danger. I don't want to go to Congo again. George says we can help the people there. If you will go there we can know the people there and the king there has nothing. We will take over Congo soon. You should go there for this. John means Tarzan gets ready to go to his old house. The scene shifts to the past of Tarzan. Parents of Tarzan are shown. They were stuck in Congo City and lived in a house made upside the tree. His mother died after some time and then his father thinks someone would save his son. But the gorillas arrived and ended Tarzan's father. Later, the gorillas go inside the treehouse while hearing the baby's voice. A female gorilla reaches Tarzan and it also has a small baby gorilla. It keeps the baby means Tarzan. The scene shifts to Tarzan and his wife Jane is shown. Jane tells Tarzan's story to the kids and also tells them about the animals of Congo. They are giant and Jane discovers that Tarzan is again moving to his house. Jane also wants to go with him but he refuses. Tarzan tells Jane there is a tribe who is chasing me. I am not scared of that tribe but scared that they will harm you. Jane insists to go. The scene again shifts to Tarzan's past. Tarzan was a small baby and lives with the gorilla female. He lives with his brother that was the son of the gorilla female. The gorilla's leader comes to end Tarzan but didn't. Later, they accept Tarzan. Tarzan's childhood was spent with his brothers. The scene again shifts to the present and Tarzan is shown watching his childhood clothes. He makes Jane understand this place is dangerous. Jane says I will live there with a tribe and Tarzan agrees. Tarzan, Jane, and George reach Congo City. As Tarzan reaches there some lions appear in front of him. They meet Tarzan with love and it seems like they are welcoming Tarzan. George gets shocked seeing how these animals can live like this with Tarzan. Later, the scene shifts to a city. The banker has given Dead a lot of money and Leon says we will return your money. But you have to help us in return. You have to send an army of 20,000 to Congo City. The banker refuses and says if you will not return our money we will take over Congo. Leon promises him I will make everything fine soon. Tarzan, Jane, and Gorg have shown reach a Cuba tribe. This was the place where Jan was brought up. Her father was a professor and taught everyone to read and write. Everyone was happy after meeting Tarzan and Jane. They were telling Tarzan's story at night. Tarzan remembers his past. It is shown how Tarzan lives in the forest and between the animals. He remembers how he met Jane. Jane was playing with the animals in the forest and sees Tarzan for the first time. Tarzan hides and then Jane moves forward in search of him. Meanwhile, many gorillas arrive, and about to end Jane but Tarzan arrives and saves Jane. Tarzan gets injured and Jane takes care of him and takes him to the Cuba tribe. The story is shown in the present. Leon has brought his army to the Cuba tribe. He ends the leader of the Cuba tribe. Leon came here to take Tarzan because he has promised to the other leader to give him Tarzan. He arrests Jane. He also makes Tarzan his slave. George fires when Leon was taking everyone. Tarzan releases but Leon takes Jane with him. Tarzan knows where Leon will take Jane. That was a long path so they have to take the train's help. George says to Tarzan I will go with you. Tarzan says this happened because of you. You asked me to come here. My wife Jane is in trouble because of you. Leon tells Jane the invitation from the royal family was sent by us. So Tarzan will come here and we will catch him. Jane says you have done a huge mistake in your life. While calling Tarzan here, Tarzan is shown moving to the train with some people of his tribe and he wants to go while holding the branches of trees. George doesn't know all this but Tarzan helps him. They reach upside the train and find many prisoners inside the train. Tarzan fights to release them. He ends everyone because of whom they were imprisoned. Jane is shown where Leon makes her have dinner forcefully with him. Jane picks a knife from there. Leon sees her because he has spent his half-life in the forests. That's why he knows how to deal with those people. Leon has a rosemary that was made of the strongest spider web. Jane says once Tarzan will come he will not spare you. Leon says if he will come I will hand over him to the other tribe and the tribe will give me diamonds and elephant's teeth in return for him. Tarzan is shown getting off the train. He says to George, now I have to go forward alone. I can't take the tribe people with me, because if I will take them with me they all will be ended. George didn't leave Tarzan, he was with Tarzan. He says I will be with you and Tarzan has to move from the forest of Congo City. There were giant gorillas. Tarzan asks the gorilla leader to fight and says to George the gorilla leader will fight with me, the winner will make everyone agree with him. George says how can you fight with a giant gorilla? Gorilla's leader was none other than Tarzan's brother. Tarzan says to George they call me a traitor because now I lived with humans. There was a heavy fight between them but the gorilla was Tarzan's brother so it doesn't say anything to him. When it moves towards George, Tarzan asks George to bend in front of it. Otherwise, this gorilla will end you. Tarzan also discovers this is Leon's plan. Leon wants to take Jane to that tribe because he knows I will go there to save Jane. Jane is shown who is talking to the tribe people in their language. She asks them to leave and then jumps into the water. She reaches the forest while swimming. She faces a giant gorilla and as she sees it she bends in front of it. Jane knows the gorillas will not harm if we will bend in front of them. Leon and his companions reach there in search of Jane. Jane asks Leon not to say anything to gorilla. I am ready to go with you. As Leon takes Jane with him, Leon's companions attack the gorilla. The gorillas were dying. Tarzan was hearing them from a distance. Tarzan also reaches those gorillas. Tarzan's brother arrives and Leon's army attacks the gorilla who is Tarzan's brother. But Tarzan saves it. The gorilla also understands Tarzan still considers it his brother. Until then, Leon has taken Jane with him, he has reached the tribe. Tarzan remembers his old days. His mother means the gorilla female was ended by the son of that tribe leader. Tarzan has ended the leader's son for taking revenge of his mother. This was the reason the tribe leader wants Tarzan. He wanted to take revenge for his son's death. Leon has fulfilled his promises with that tribe leader. He has taken Jane and Tarzan was also behind them. Leon gets many diamonds and elephant's teeth in return. The people of the tribe were standing around Tarzan and there was a fight between Tarzan and the tribe leader. Tarzan makes the tribe leader understands that Leon's companion will occupy Congo. They have many weapons. You can't do anything when they will arrive with the army containing 20,000 people. On the other hand, Tarzan's brother gorilla reaches there with the gorillas. The people of that tribe move away while seeing this. Tarzan says to the tribe leader, your son ended my mother. The leader says my son didn't know that the gorilla female was your mother and the tribe leader has also understood this. Leon has moved far with Jane. Tarzan asks for help from the animals in the forest. The army of 20,000 people also have arrived and the animals were ready to help Tarzan. The animals attack Leon's camp but Leon doesn't leave Jane. When the animals attack Leon he leaves Jane in between the animals to die. Tarzan saves Jane and hands her over to George. Leon tries to escape but how Tarzan will let him go from there. George finds a machine gun and attacks Leon's ship. Tarzan reaches Leon's ship but Leon ties his neck with his rosemary. Tarzan was about to die for a moment but then he uses his strength to break the rosemary. Tarzan calls the tortoise with his voice. The tortoises gather and eat Leon. The ship's power was increased till then and there was a huge blast. Everyone feels Tarzan has died. The army of 20,000 people also goes back to see this bomb blast. They say we can't fight with the tribe people of Congo. We will die, so they decide to go back. Tarzan is shown nothing happened to him and hugs Jane. The people of the tribe were also released. George meets Tarzan and returns to England while collecting the data. They discover how the king has imprisoned everyone. Tarzan has released everyone. Tarzan, who belonged to a royal family, doesn't go to his home. He starts living with the tribe people in the city of Africa, Congo. Tarzan has a son here as well. Here the movie concludes.